Hi everyone, this is Yana Smakula and thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I'll show you how to watercolor one of the new background stamps from Simon Says Stamp, the Kaleidoscope Center Cut background. Simon has many other similar background stamps that will look equally stunning watercolored like this. I took out the center part of my background stamp out. I won't be using it today, and I've already mounted my stamp onto the door of my MISTI. I'm going to heat emboss this image in Simon's antique gold embossing powder onto Arch's hot-pressed watercolor paper. I've already treated my paper with an anti-static powder tool. You want to do that to make sure your embossing will be nice and clean. Next, I stamped my image onto the paper and added embossing powder. I love to use any metallic powders for backgrounds like this, as they help my backgrounds sparkle and shine in a way. After heat setting my powder with a heat tool, I taped my background onto a board. I did this to prevent my paper from buckling as much as possible, as I knew I'd be adding a lot of water to it. And I'm now using a large flat brush and laying a layer of clean, clear water onto the background. I will be doing a wet on wet watercolor, so I'm making sure my paper is wet before I bring any pigment onto it. To the left of my heat embossed panel, I have a Daniel Smith Yana Smakula palette. This is a new exclusive palette from Simon Says Stamp that includes 18 of my most favorite Daniel Smith watercolor colors. I have another video tutorial walking you through the colors and explaining how to use this palette, so be sure to watch it. In this video, I'm not actually using the palette itself, but I am using the colors from this palette to show you what you can watercolor with their help. I'm going for a night sky, almost galaxy looking background for this project. So I'm starting with indigo color and I'm adding it onto several sections of my background. I'm going to speed this part of the video up and we'll play some music in a little bit to show you the entire coloring process. In addition to using indigo, I'm also using lunar blue, another favorite of mine. This is a perfect color for creating dark, dreamy backgrounds. To add a little bit of sparkle, you'll see me use a duochrome oceanic color. I will be adding it directly onto the wet blue, making sure to mix it with the other colors to add some shine to my coloring. I will also mix a little bit of green by using the Cascade green color, and you'll see it pop here and there as I do my coloring. And one last color you'll see me add to this background is the Satellite Genuine. So again, you can find all of these colors on the new Watercolor Daniel Smith palette. I've let the first layer of my coloring dry and you can now see how much lighter my background looks. I prefer the colors to be much darker, so I'm going to do some additional coloring with indigo and lunar blue to intensify the colors. I did not wet my background this time, and I am just adding wet color onto dry surface. I will add a little bit of water later to help the pigments flow. I'm also loading my brush with a lot of the indigo color and going right next to the heat embossed line in the center, dropping a lot of the pigment and letting the water carry it from the line into the center of my background. And I'm repeating this in a few sections on my background. I waited for my background to dry. I did not use a heat tool as I prefer these kinds of backgrounds to air dry. And next I added lots of pearlescent watercolor splatter using my Finetech watercolors. I simply added a little bit of water to the lightest shade. I picked up the color and pigment with my paintbrush and tapped on my brush to add large drops of shimmering pigment onto my painting. A quick tip, the larger the brush you use, the larger the drops you'll be able to get. I also used a white gel pen and drew in some white dots inside the open area in the center. I wanted that to look a little bit like the night sky with the white dots representing stars. I trimmed my background to about 4 by 5¼ inches and foam mounted it onto an A2 card base. To create a sentiment for this card, I heat embossed and die cut the word love from the new stained glass greetings stamp set from Simon and foam mounted it onto my card. I also die cut an identical layer using fun foam, double-sided sticky fun foam from Scrapbook Adhesives. And finally, I added a skinny strip that reads, "May your Christmas be filled with." So now my sentiment reads, "May your Christmas be filled with love." A background like this can be used for any other occasion, but since I'm in a holiday mood, I kind of wanted to make this into a Christmas card. Lastly, I embellished my project using gold confetti from Simon's Rainbow Confetti Mix. So this finishes this video. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial and will give this idea a try. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!